All right, evening, everyone. Good evening. This is Live Market Observation Volume 40. Yep. For those of you who may be new, welcome. As you guys make your way on, please be sure to like and share the video from whatever platform you're tuned in from. If you're tuning in from Facebook, follow the TeamAlliance Facebook page and then turn on the bell so that you can receive notifications that way when I'm live, hopefully. If you're tuning in from YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notifications. Also, like and share the video. And if you're tuning in from Twitter, be sure to like and share and then to retweet on your timeline. All right, all of the above ensures that you have the greatest chance of being notified from the platform that you typically will tune in from. Of course, if you're not a member already of the public TeamAlliance Facebook group, be sure to join the group. The link should be underneath the video. And it should be there on whatever platform you're tuning in from. So you should see it on Facebook. You'll see it in the description box on YouTube. And I believe you see it on Twitter too, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So join the public TeamAlliance Facebook group, because that way you're guaranteed to get notified. For whatever reason, Facebook will always notify you when a post is made in the group. So when I post in the group, you'll get the notification that way if any of the other ones did not notify you. All right. All right. So we're going to do some market observation this evening. We're back into the new week. This is the week of December 13th, Monday the 13th. All right, what's good, everybody? So, coming off from last week was very good for the content. Some very good coffee and charts last week. We had very good market observations last week as well. For those of you who are new to the content, what we do here on TeamAlliance is we observe the market. TeamAlliance also offers training specifically for the NADEX platform. So for any of you who are familiar with NADEX or interested in becoming familiar with NADEX, you definitely need to learn things properly in order for you to be profitable when you trade on this platform. This is a very strong and powerful trading platform, mainly because of the fact that we trade derivatives on this platform. So these instruments available to us allow us to trade on top of the Forex markets. We're not trading the Forex markets directly. We're trading an instrument that's based on the Forex market underlying. So in other words, the information for prices, for the market moving, all of that information is coming from the underlying Forex market that the instrument is for. So for example, we're looking right now at the Euro USD 5-minute binary option. You see here where it says expires in 4 minutes and 2 seconds. This expiration restarts every 5 minutes. And each 5-minute period, you have these lines that are drawn. The lines represent strike prices of binary options. And basically, binaries are so simple to trade that many people mistake the ease of trading binaries with the ease of winning binaries. It's not as easy to win consistently as you think it is. And that's not because of the binary itself. It has nothing to do with the binary. The binary is a static instrument. Well, to some degree. It does change the price levels of the strikes, but static in terms of what the instrument allows you to do when you trade it. So, for example, if you're trading a particular strike price, the strike price that you selected is based on where the current market activity actually is primarily. So the most relevant strike price is going to be wherever you see the current price movement of the underlying market. So right now we're looking at the Euro USD. This movement is based on the actual movement of the Euro USD in the Forex market. Now, this is what you have to learn how to interpret. It's not the binaries. Binaries are very simple to trade. For example, if I wanted to trade this price level right here where you see my mouse, which actually is represented by the top of this green box, I just move the box down so that you can see where the current market activity is concentrated. The activity is inside of this box now. So that means that the price of the euro dollar is actually lower or under this top line, the top of this box, which is the 1281 price level. And you can see that the price of the actual euro USD is 12802. So it's lower than 12810. You see that? So 12810 is the level, and 12802 is where the price actually is right now. Okay. Now it's at 12806. Now it's at 7. You see? Now it's at 6. So the price of the market is moving. And the way that you profit on the binary is by being correct about where the market ends. So the challenge is not figuring out how to trade binaries. It's simple to trade a binary. The problem is figuring out how to win by being correct about where the market ends and being able to do that consistently. Now, most people don't think of it that way. And this is why they have problems when they trade. Problems as in losing their money. People lose primarily because they don't understand that the market determines whether you're going to win or lose the trade based on its movement. So if you don't understand the movement, you really don't know why you're winning or losing your trades. But if you actually take time to learn and understand what the movement of the market means, and I mean all of the movement, how fast or how slow it's moving, the way that it is moving, the amount of distance it's moving within a 60-second period. You know, how far is it traveling? How small is the movement? Is the movement small? Is there a limited number of micro pips of movement, or is there a lot of micro pips of movement? Is it doing smaller moves more often or doing bigger moves more often? Is there reversal energy in it? Does it start out in one direction and then move into the other direction during the same 60-second period? Is it doing that? You see how I'm asking the right questions? These are the questions that you have to answer in order to understand market movement. Not, oh, is this a good trade? Let me take a look at this option. This is the 1279 option. I wonder if this would be a good trade. 3 minutes left. Yeah, I got pricing here. Look at this. I can get in at 65. That means I would earn $35 in profit on this trade. Ooh, I can get in for 56. Look at this. That's an even better price. That's not the right question. So when you focus on just the trade setting up, you miss what the market's actually doing that makes this trade a good trade to be in now. See, the question is not if this is a good trade. The question is is the market moving in a way where by me selecting this trade, I know the outcome of the market's movement when the clock runs out? That's the question you have to ask. And if you're not asking that question, that's why you're losing. It's not because you're picking bad trades. It's because you don't understand the movement of the market, period. That's why you're losing your trades. I tell you something even scarier. It's the same reason you're winning your trades. This is even scarier. Listen to what I'm saying. You're winning your trades because you don't understand. Whoa. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Well, what do you mean? I don't understand that, Mark. Whenever you win a trade, if you don't understand why that was a good time to be in the trade, you don't even understand why you won the trade. Oh boy. Why am I saying this? Because how can you duplicate the result? Uh-oh. You ever wonder why you win, lose? You ever wonder why? See? So the same reason you're winning is the same reason you're losing. See, now listen, that's a hard pill for people to swallow. I know. Because it's like, well, Mark, I don't understand what like, that doesn't make sense. Actually, it does make a lot of sense. It makes a hell of a lot of sense. So the bottom line is that until you actually understand market movement and what the movement means, you'll end up losing the trades that you thought you were going to win. Uh-oh. Guarantee you that any trade that you end up losing is a trade that was close. It was either close or the market suddenly reversed on you and you didn't know why it did it. Oh man, why did the market do that? See, you're asking the wrong questions again. If the reason that you lost is because the market reversed on you, I assure you that that reversal behavior was there already. Problem is, you didn't see it. Problem is, you didn't know that it was there. You didn't know to what degree it was there. Uh-oh. See? When the market moves, there are degrees of movement that the market has in the current market environment and with the current market behavior. If you can't recognize the current market environment and behavior at the same time, you'll have a hard time dealing with the market, period. I'll give you an example. The market could be in an existing environment. Let's say the market's slow. The market could suddenly, out of nowhere, quote unquote, move substantially. Let's say that it's moving kind of like how you see it moving now. You see this movement now where these candles are? You see this activity? You see how these are small candles? Now, let's say out of nowhere, you get a big candle. Just like pow. And because you didn't anticipate that movement, you assumed that that movement represented a change in the environment. In other words, you're thinking, oh, look at this, the market's speeding up. Some volatility is coming in. Is that what's actually happening? Nope. Well, Mark, how do you know that? Well, because volatility is not the environment that you're in. You're not in a volatile environment. So if you see volatility, quote unquote, in the midst of a slower environment, then you know that that is simply some type of relocation of the market. In other words, the market is moving to another position. It's just moving somewhere else. But what it's going to do is continue its existing behavior in the new place it moves to. So in other words, after the volatility that you see, the market goes back to what it was doing already. Same thing applies vice versa. Sometimes the market is in a volatile or faster environment, and then it'll slow down. You'll see smaller candles. And after the smaller candles are done, the market will continue the environment that it was in already. In other words, it'll go back to bigger, faster candles. This is called interpreting market behavior and environment. So you have to know where you are before you know where the market is going to continue to be. Listen to me. Listen. See, a prediction is you trying to figure out where the market's going, but you're not really taking into consideration where the market is. You're trying to predict where it's going based on where it's been. You understand what I'm saying? People look at charts all the time and they draw lines, right? They'll draw lines all over the chart. They'll put some support, resistance lines. They'll draw channels. They'll do something like this. They'll draw this, right? And they'll take another line and they might draw a trend line like this, right? And they're drawing lines all over the chart. And what they're doing is they'll look at this, for example. They'll be like, all right, the market looks like it's forming a wedge here. Here, let me draw this line up here. Wait, I ain't gonna draw that one. Hold on. Let me come over here. They'll take something like this and they'll draw another trend line just like this. And then they'll say, look at this. It's forming a wedge. Let me move this box out the way. And let me move this line. So you can see what I'm talking about. This is what people will do all the time. It's forming a wedge. It has to break out of the wedge. Whichever direction it breaks out of the wedge, that's the direction I'm going with. Because that's where the momentum is. And people literally will trade based off of that information. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. What I am saying is that it's a limited way to look at what the market is doing, because what you're trying to do here is you're trying to figure out what it's going to do. See, when you're basing your decisions off of these type of patterns that you're seeing or that you're picking up on, you're trying to figure out what is it going to do. Or, man, let me see, it might bounce off of this trend line. If it bounces off this trend line, it should go lower here. It should come right down here to the bottom of the channel or the bottom of the wedge and find some support there. You're trying to predict. See, And what happens is that you can't do that consistently. Getting rid of these lines. You can't make predictions consistently and be right. You'll get it wrong. Why? Because those are not foundational principles of the market. What am I saying? That's based on history. You're taking old information and you're trying to figure out where the market's going to go based on the old information. It's called technical analysis, right? And understand, it works to a degree, but everything works to a degree. Doesn't it? Doesn't everything work to a degree? So again, we can't rely on that. We need to actually understand the market, like the movement. We need to understand, well, what environment are we in? Are we in a fast environment or a slow environment? So you need to know the answer to that immediately. And you need to know how to interpret that information and not get it wrong. You might look at the fact that the market is moving diagonally and say to yourself, well, the market's moving up and these candles are holding. So the market is in a fast environment because these candles are bigger. In actuality, no, it's not. The market's still in a slow environment. Right now, the market is still moving slowly. So the environment that you're in currently is still a slow market. So when you see movement like this, where it's moving in one direction, it's actually showing you more so what the behavior of the movement is. So when you see these clean candles forming like this, it's letting you know, wow, look at the movement. It's actually stable. Wow. And why is that important? Why is stable movement important? See? The reason that the movement being stable is important is because once you know that that behavior is present, you know what the movement means. See? So when the market moves to somewhere, you know that it will remain where it goes. How do you know that? Because the movement is stable. And why is that important for binaries? Because that's how you win trades. See, you win trades by understanding the outcome of the current market movement. The market's movement tells you whether or not the trade makes sense to be in at the time. So we're not talking about good or bad trades. We're talking about being in the market at the right time versus not being in the market at the right time. Do you want to be in a good trade at the wrong time? Do you even know what the wrong time means? See? When the market has instability in the movement and there's still too much of it, that's not a good time to be in a trade, because it increases the chances of you coin flipping. In other words, you might lose. Well, Mark, what do you mean? The market might move in a way that's not stable because there's instability still present. Too much of it still there. See? And if you compare that to what the market does when it is stable, it moves and it remains where it goes. Or it will remain where it is. The key word is remain. Hold. How do you win a binary? The market has to remain where? Above or below your strike. Aha. So what we just did was we took away the confusion of whether trades are good or bad. So now you're not asking the question of, is the trade good or bad? The question is the time right or not? That's the question. Is the time right or is it not? That's the only question that you need to answer. By the way, if you're new and you have a question, please feel free to ask. If you're new to NADEX and you don't fully understand what's going on or really anything I'm talking about, you can ask whatever question you would like. Please feel free. Another thing that happens as you learn how to interpret the market movement, as you begin to get better at recognizing stability, you'll also recognize the correlation between option pricing and the movement of the market. You'll start to see nuances like pricing out, things of that nature. In other words, when you see the option pricing out with a certain amount of time left on the clock, when you see candles forming on the chart, clustered together, things of that nature. See? You start to realize and to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and it will always relate back to market. It never comes back to the trade. Does that make sense? So in other words, whatever your question is, it needs to be a market question, not a trade question. Oh, did I get into that one too late? That has nothing to do with it. Oh, I got into it too early. I should have waited. Well, if you got into a trade too early, what does that mean? If you had a chance to get in at a later time, would you still have gotten into the trade? See? Hindsight is 2020. What you'll say to that is, well, the trade won. So yeah, if I'd have just waited, I would have got in at a better price. Well, do you know why the trade won? Yeah, because it stayed above my line. No, that's not why the trade won. See, your answers can't be that. And again, like I go through this all the time because I try to help folks to understand how to look at the market first instead of looking for trades first. See, what will happen is people will get some type of strategy or a method. They'll even be audacious enough to come into the TA training, the TeamAlliance training, and they'll hop right to phase 3 immediately because they think that phase 3 represents how to get into the trade, and that's the most important part. It's not the most important part. It's the least important part. That's why it's last. The most important part comes before that. The 2 phases that help you to see if the market is stable or not. Environment and behavior. And what I'm explaining is that as you learn how to observe the market and focus on that part, in other words, focusing on environment and behavior, And just focusing on that, what ends up happening is you begin to recognize when the time is right to be in a trade if one comes. Listen to what I'm saying. If one comes. So that means you're not even trying to force your way into a trade. The trade either sets up or it doesn't. But the most important part is that you are only even acknowledging that a trade is setting up if the time in the market is right, meaning the market is stable and you know it. You need to know the market is stable already. You need to know what that looks like. You need to know the difference between a slow market and a kind of slow market. The difference between a fast market with some momentum and a fast market with a lot of momentum. You need to know what it looks like. Because what I'm giving you now is the difference between the gray area and the green area. The green area is where the profits are. The gray area is where the profits might be. Whoa. In other words, you might win those trades. They're coin flips. I said a moment ago, everything works sometimes. But we're really not interested in some time in this because we're dealing with the market. So we just need to understand the market itself. That way the market can lead us. See, the main issue is that you don't allow the market to lead you. You're letting the trade lead you. Am I telling the truth? You're letting the trade lead. You get on the platform and you start looking for a trade. Oh, this one's set up. Some of y'all will get into training with me, right? And you start telling me about the trade. When what I'm actually teaching you is about the market. For example, Mark, I saw a trade set up and it gave the 5+1 and I had option pricing and I clicked in. But when I clicked in, with 10 seconds left, it went the other way. What did I do wrong? And I'm just giving you one example of something that is reality for many people who have joined training and have not caught right away what it is that I'm actually training you to do. You're thinking that is the trade. You're thinking that you did something wrong and that's why you lost. Now, you did do something wrong, but what you think you did wrong had nothing to do with the trade. Whoa, 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 whoa. What you did wrong had nothing to do with the trade. Damn. I don't know what this shit is doing. Damn, man. You still got audio? This thing is just acting crazy, yo. Like it's trying to close everything. What the hell? Ugh, shit is the worst. All right, it's back. Yeah, this thing just shut down. Like everything just started closing on me. All right, let me see if I can get this platform back up. Yeah, but anyway, as I do that, um, yeah, so this is what people have a tendency to focus on. You know, just like I said, when people come into training with me, they do it. They'll go through the whole spiel of we'll mark the trade set up and this looked good and that looked good, but it lost. What are you freeing the people for? Yes, anytime it get good, it seems like something happened, right? Technically, it's crazy. You can't make this stuff up. Can't make it up. Let me see if it'll let me share back. Let's see. What you gonna do, man? Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? All right, there we go. You see the screen back now? And the audio's good? You make sure before I continue. All right, cool. Yep. So, um, this is what people have a tendency to do. One of the things that you'll notice when I do these streams, you know, when I'm doing a live, whether it's the live market observation or coffee and charts, even on the podcast, the topics usually will come back to what people do wrong and what they think that they're doing wrong. People have a tendency to think that they're doing something wrong with the way that they're picking trades. And all of this that I speak on and that I talk about and that I continuously address is intended to show you and to help you understand that it has nothing to do with that. It doesn't have anything to do with the trade. And what's crazy is that that's what you think it is. It's not the trade. It's the lack of understanding that you still have for the market. That's why you'll be in a trade not understanding why the trade set up and still lost. Isn't that what goes on? Isn't that what y'all be doing? You're trying to figure out, well, this was a good setup. Man, it lost though. What did I do wrong? And then you go into trade mode trying to figure out what you did wrong in the trade, right? You're trying to figure, all right, well, I see what I did. I clicked in too early. I should have waited. If I would have waited, I wouldn't have been in it. If you would have recognized the true behavior, you wouldn't have been in it. You wouldn't have even been looking at the trade setting up. So do you see which one is more valuable? Look, this makes a lot of sense. Tell me which one is more valuable. Knowing why you're not in a trade at all, or trying to figure out why you lost the trade. Which one's more valuable? See? So once you realize which one actually has more value, that's where your attention should go. And that's where your attention will go. And until that, oh, I see what's happening. Damn. That's what's going on? Oh, snap. These dudes are spamming my man. These bots coming on here and messing with this thing. I'm seeing that. That's what it is. When I tried to block them, it made the whole thing freeze. Crazy, yo. Crazy. All right. So my audio should be back. Yeah, let me know if the audio is back. Damn, man, this thing switched up everything. What the hell? All right, cool. All right, we back at it. We back at it, man. Y'all can't stop us, man. All right, so before I forget what the point was that I was making, it's the same all the time. Anytime I'm on here, I'm talking about the same things with regards to the markets and trades and why people lose, and the lack of understanding that you have. That's the main reason that you're losing. See, the key, all right, put it like this. If you want to be a consistently profitable trader, you have to be consistent at understanding the market. You need to understand every condition of the market. What do I mean by that? Like, Mark, what you mean every condition? What does that mean? That's impossible. No, it's not impossible. It's actually very possible, and it's actually what you end up doing when you take the time to do it. See, what it is that you never had anyone tell you that. So you didn't know. And it's cool. It's cool. You don't know anything until someone shares information with you. Think about that. What do you really know until somebody teaches you? You don't know nothing. Somebody got to teach you. So same thing applies here. Same thing applies here. And the sooner that you understand that, the faster your results will change for the better. And that's a fact. That is a fact. Way too often I've seen people come onto the NADEX platform, love the platform at first, and never develop the mindset that they need to ultimately succeed with something that works. What do I mean? Well, they love everything about NADEX. They love binaries, but they can't control themselves. They don't know how to stop. Stop what? Stop trading. They get into revenge trade mode. They get into thirst mode. All of these are just different layers of trade mode. They think that they can somehow end up picking enough good trades to make it work. Not understanding that it has nothing to do with trades. It is your recognition of the market. And how can you recognize the market if you are caught up in greed? If you're busy being greedy and wanting to trade and make money, how can you actually focus on understanding how the market's moving? You can't. And you don't. You're focusing on picking better trades, waiting for your trade to come, waiting for your setup to come. Or I need more patience with my entry. No. You need more patience with the market. The market, not the trade. So this shift in thinking has to do with moving outside of the trade mode. And when you do this, everything changes, because now you can actually begin to see the market. And when you start to see the market, it starts to make sense. Start to make sense. You start understanding why. Why what? Not why I trade one, but you start understanding why the market did or did not do something at the time of a trade. Because again, you'll ask, well, why did this trade win, but that one didn't win, and they're the same trade? Well, when you say that they're the same trade, what you're saying is they're the same trade setup. But they took place in two different market conditions. And there it is. See? Two different market conditions. So you didn't recognize either one of the conditions. Now, I want you to think about that. If you can't recognize either of the conditions, you really don't know what happened. All you're seeing is the trade. And you're still trying to figure out what you did wrong with the trade entry. Whatever you're trying to tweak or change or improve as far as your entry is not going to change the outcome of that trade. Whoa. What changes the outcome? What changes the outcome of a trade? The market. So if you're not understanding what the market was doing at the time of the trade, you trying to tweak the trade is to no avail. It doesn't mean anything at all, because regardless of what you do different with the trade, the outcome will still be the same. How do I know that? Because the market is the same. Whatever the market did, that's what it did. The market wouldn't have done something different if you did something different with the trade. Y'all keeping up with this? See, you thinking the market would have did something different if you did something different. No. The market would have did the exact same thing that it did, regardless of what you did different. The only thing you could have done different to change the outcome for you would have been to not be in a trade at all. And you only would have done that if you understood why not to be in a trade. Does this make sense? I'm hoping that this makes sense for people that don't understand why they still lose trades. This makes perfect sense. And understand, see, this makes sense whether you agree or not. You may not agree with what I'm saying. You don't like it because it means you can't continue to do bullshit. See, that I know that you don't like that. Damn, he's saying I can't keep trading the way I'm. Man, what are you talking about? I don't want to hear that shit. Why don't you, Mark? Just tell me how to win my trades. I'm telling you how to win your trades, but you can't hear that if you're in trade mode. Whoa. Whoa. You can't hear that if you're in trade mode. See, you're only going to have an ear to hear this if you're in market mode. And that's where I'm trying to shift you. I'm trying to put you into market mode, market thinking. You stuck in trade thoughts. Oh, this was a good trade. Yeah, that was a good trade. No, that was a bad trade. I got to figure out how not to take that one. You're trying to tweak the trade. Listen, I'll take the worst trade ever at the right time. Give me the worst trade ever at the right time. I'll take it. Carrie says, I'm working to learn the market and stay 1-0. Thank you, Mark. In 301. Still a work in progress. There it is. And it's the answer to the question that I asked earlier. Knowing why is more valuable. Yep. Yep. You're funny. When you go back in time, you remind me of stuff I used to be doing. You haven't done exams in a long, long time, huh? Let me see. Let's see. All right. Y'all want me to do an exam? Y'all want to do an exam? I know you're gonna say yes to that. Who's gonna turn that down? We'll do one. Um, Let me think on how I'll even approach it. I think because at this point, and this is one of the things too about the exams when I've done them in the past, they while you driving. Yeah, see what happened when you bring stuff up while you driving? The exams are not intended to see if you're right or wrong. Like, I'm not asking you the question to get a right or wrong response. It's intended to show me what your thought process is based on what I'm asking and based on also what you're seeing in the market. All right. So that's like my little disclaimer, because a lot of times, you know, in the past, we're human beings. So if I say, is it going to stay above or below? And you say below and it stays above, naturally you feel some kind of way, like, damn, I messed up. But you can't mess up, because the questions that I'm asking you, they're not intended to make you say what's right, if that makes sense. It's intended to show me what you're thinking. That's all it is. All right. So, if you ever see me or hear me doing she talking about she pulling over. She thirsty for this exam right now. Oh snap, that's funny. Yeah, that's a good word. That's good wording to use. Yes, thought provoking. Right. Exactly. It's like a stress test. So I'm pushing you to see what you're thinking, because the way that you're thinking is definitely a direct reflection of the way that you are. Well, it's a combination. It includes the way that you're training and the way that you're seeing. Right. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna do some exams. You could think Angel. Angel's like, I need a test. All right, so let me see what we got. All right, so let me ask a first exam question. Here, let me zoom out. Okay, here's the first one. What environment are we in currently? What environment are we in right now? And I see a lot of synergy also. I got 3 slows. Mm-hmm. And I like this response too. I like this because this is more specific. Now, this is interesting. He says moving. Look at what Carrie says. Position change. Aha. Interesting. Interesting what your responses are. Let's see what else we got. What else can I test you on? Okay. Based on this option pricing. You see this option pricing? Based on this, uh, why is the option pricing priced out currently? Why is the option pricing priced out? I like this. Mark G was like, yeah, that drip is a little heavy right there. Chip says, slow but not steady. I like that response also. This is to what I asked originally. And this was very good. Very good, Mari. Very good. Very good. Answer to what I just asked. Why is the option priced out? Angel says because of the speed and the position. Bilal said because it's out of position. Chillify says because of the time. I'm gonna do another one because this right here, what Chillify is saying with the time, when I asked there was less time left. I'm gonna ask on the next one when there's more. If I even ask that same question, I'm gonna do another one after this one. Carrie said because it was out of position, it was in between strikes. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So see if you can understand the next one. Dark matter. One of the reasons I enjoy this, I do like doing the exams actually. I forgot that I used to do these even. That's crazy, right? I forgot I used to do these exams. Out of sight, out of mind. But the reason that I like these is because these force you to think about the market. See the way that I'm asking the questions, they're not trade questions at all. But you don't always realize that. You think that I'm leading up to asking you about a trade. And that's what I want. I want you to think that. Because what happens eventually is you realize I'm not asking you about a trade at all. But the way that I ask the question helps to redirect your thought process to move away from thinking about a trade. So we're going to get there, man. We are going to get there. All right, well, we got 2 minutes left. Would you guys say that we are still in a slow environment? Just type yes or no. Are we still in a slow environment? Yes or no? Are we still in a slow environment? Look at this. Dog Matter says no. Angel says yep. Bilal, yep. Now let me ask you, excuse me, reality TV. Why are you saying no? You don't feel that we're still in a slow market. Tell me why. This will give me a lot of information about what you're thinking. Why are you saying no? Why do you think that we're not in a slow market still? This should be good. Orion, he says yes. Maury, yes. Carrie, yes. James Finks, yep. And let me see what reality TV says. He said because it's making and losing money every minute. When you say making and losing money, you're talking about the option. And let me ask another question. Reality, do you understand how the binaries work, or is all of this new to you? Just so I can have context, because I'm not sure how new all of this actually is to you. And this is correct. Yep, it's still 1 in P. He said it's down now, but it was just up the candle before. I read the candles. Okay, so when you said making and losing money, you're talking about the candle movement? Like you're talking about the movement of these red and blue candles? He says going off of my wit. Okay. Okay. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm gonna take a look at something real quick. And this right here is going to be very interesting. What I'm going to show right now. Just watch this. Watch. I'm going to show you something. If I take this box and I put it here, right? I'm going to zoom in. And if you look at this area includes the big candle, right? With the exception of this big candle, and let me just move this over like this. I kind of didn't want to include this area over here. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let me make the box smaller just so I can focus on what I want you to see. If you look at this entire area here, right? Where are the majority of the candles? Are they inside or outside of this green box? And this is for everyone. Everybody can respond to this. But it's in particular, I'm showing something to reality TV. The majority of your candles are where? They're in the box, right? Now, reality, the box represents the distance between this top strike and this bottom strike. and it's only 2 pips. It's 12.79 and 12.77. So right before the one candle that took us out of this area, you had the majority of the candle activity inside of this box, meaning that most of the movement was in between 2 price levels. Most of the movement was less than 2 pips in total. And this was over a period, we'll say, of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes. So 7 candles. And just in this area, because if you look at these candles underneath, these candles are actually in the box down here. See, like this box would be here, and these candles would be inside of the box down here. But it's the same behavior because the movement is contained inside of an area. So if we're looking at this area, you see for 7 minutes, all the activity was inside of this area. Not including this big candle. Now, if you look at the big candle, look at what the big candle did. The big candle took the market activity and did what to it? It took it and it moved it down here. What's the market doing down here? Back inside the box, ain't it? So if you take away this one big candle, all of the market activity is inside of the box. I'm just pointing this out so that you understand when we say fast and slow environment, if the market is fast, that means that it would have enough momentum to move it further. But there's not a lot of momentum at all. So you can see what the market is doing here is what it was already doing up here. Staying in the box. So again, if we exclude the long candle, which actually just moved the position of this activity down here in between these 2 strikes. So now the box is just lower. You had that one long candle, and then the market returned to what it was doing already, which was staying in the box. Same thing it's doing here. You got one long candle here. What's the market doing here? Still in the box, ain't it? So you see how easy it is to, I'm not going to say mess up, but it's easy to call something that is actually not if you don't fully understand what it is that you're actually looking at. Because when you say fast would mean more movement. There would have to be more incremental movement in the market, but we're not seeing that. What we are seeing is one candle that will relocate the market activity, but then the market activity continues to do what it was already doing. And this is how we observe the market. So you see what I just showed you. You see how powerful that is? Because now you understand, one, this box only represents 2 pips of movement from top to bottom. It only represents the distance between 2 strike prices. That's all this green box is. So when you move it along and you actually look at where the market is, you're seeing the majority of the movement is in the box. Look, if you take away the 2 long candles, this one and this one, all of the other candles are inside of the box. And that's a lot of information. See? So now that quick, you understand now what the environment is. So when I say, what environment are we in? And you say slow, bingo. You're in a slow environment. And you're not being tricked into thinking that you're in a fast environment. Does that make sense? See, because you can get tricked by the bigger candles. But remember, in a slow environment, the big candles mean something different than they mean in a fast environment. And this is why it's so important to know your environment. This is why it matters. See, it makes a difference because now it helps you to understand, okay, now I understand why the market is moving the way that it is. I understand why the market is doing what it is doing. Another thing that takes place also is something called transition. And I really don't want to get that deep into it because transition is like the gray area. There's so many different variables going on inside of that area that you're recognizing when you're in transition for the sole purpose of knowing that there's nothing to do. In other words, when the market is in transition, you don't ever trade. Let me say that again. When the market's in transition, you never trade because you don't know what the environment is yet. The market is deciding what environment it wants to be in. And until it does, it's in transition, meaning it's in the gray area. Does that make sense? This is powerful stuff, man. See, people don't realize that this is why they'll lose trades. You'll lose trades you thought you should have won. Why? Because you were in the market during transition times. It's not enough to know candle formations. Like candlestick patterns. I understand. Dojis and hammers. I understand all of that. Flags, bear flag, bull flag. I get it. But when you look at specific things like that, it's not enough. The same way that looking for a trend is not enough. The same way that looking at support and resistance, not enough. And this is why we don't look at any of it. What I teach you to study is the market's behavior. And I teach you to study the market's behavior in the environment that the market's in. So that means you have to know what environment it's in. Is it in a fast environment, in a slow environment, or is it in the gray? Whoa. See, now what happens is the market's in the gray until it confirms phase one. What does that mean? The market needs to confirm what environment it's in. I just showed what the slow environment produces. It produces activity, what? Inside the box. You notice how, see, the market keeps moving and then it starts doing this again. See? The average person's like, well, damn, why does it keep slowing down? I thought it was speeding up. They're looking at this. They're like, oh, I thought it was speeding up. I thought some volatility was coming in. No, these are position changes in a slow environment. Whoa, 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 whoa. So that means that these candle movements just represent the market moving somewhere else to do what it was already doing. So that means the existing behavior is there in an existing environment. Crazy. It's crazy. And if you start to focus on the stuff I tell you to focus on, it pulls you away from thinking about trades. And why do I keep reiterating that? Because the more time you spend on trades, the less time you spend on the market. Right, you see, Pudge, you're catching it. Right back in the box, right back in the box again. Right back in the box. Look at this. Look what reality said. He said it's unstable, basic. Come on now. It's already starting to click. This is what I'm talking about. Look underneath the video in the description. There's a link there to sign up for training. The training is $35 a month. What you can do is you can send me a friend request on Facebook. You'll see the link for that also underneath the video. All the links are there. You'll see it. You'll see the link to connect with me. But this is what it's about. So, you know, it takes time to switch into this way of thinking. And the reason that it's so important for you to make the switch is because when you switch to this way of thinking about the market, it's going to switch the results for you. And it's not an overnight switch. It takes time. You're learning and you're developing a skill that will allow you to trade at a professional level. See, you know the difference between professionals and everybody else? Professionals are consistent. They have discipline and patience. And they're also applying discipline and patience to the right process. This is what professionals do. So when you look at professional results, that's why the results are what they are. And it doesn't make sense to come into trading if you don't want to trade professionally. Listen, just listen to this. It doesn't make any sense to come into the trading world if you don't want to trade professionally. Period. If you're coming into this environment and into this industry and you think you're going to get some type of automated system or signal service or some strategies and all this other crap, and you're going to start making money that way, no, you're not. That don't work. 95% of traders have proven that does not work. You think them numbers ain't real? The numbers are real. 90% of traders fail. Why are they failing? Because they're going about it the wrong way. Signal services, strategies. Huh? Even the stuff that you learn about the market as far as technical analysis, it's good to know. But I'm telling you, when it comes to trading these derivatives, like binary options is a derivative. When it comes to, for one, it's a better instrument to trade than everything else, period. Two, all you have to do is be correct about what the market's doing at the end. You don't got to figure out how many pips. Oh, I need 50 pips on this one. My target is 50 pips. We don't got to trade like that. And I'm still going to do that. I'm going to do a seminar talking about the difference between Forex and NADEX. And I might even do one comparing it to the stock market, just to help people understand the difference. Because people don't get this. They don't understand that this is a superior trading platform, for one, and binaries are a superior instrument. It's the best thing you can trade because you can apply the market skill to it. See, understand the behavior and interpreting movement. That's a market skill. We have something to use it on. You can make all type of money on this. Are you kidding? NADEX lets you scale up. You can increase your contracts. You want to make more money? Trade more contracts. That's how you make more. Scale. We can do all of that here. This is what I'm saying. That's why I said, listen, if you come into this industry, it don't make sense to be here if you don't want to be professional. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. Yep. Here you go. Look. Higher level of training to ditch that lower level of thinking. Get out of trade mode. That's what I'm talking about. That's it. That's it. Come on, man. Come on. You start to realize that when I talk about income brackets, that it's a real thing. One trade a week when you're in position. And it only takes 30 trades to be in position, starting with one contract at $100. First of all, you can't do that anywhere else. That's number one. If it took you 30 weeks to do, that's about 6 months, a little more than 6 months. 30 weeks to get into position. So let's say it takes 6 weeks to get in position, and for the remaining 6 months. The remaining 6 months of that year to earn, doing the same thing you were doing the whole time, one trade a week. Do you realize the first year you would be 6 figures in income? The following year you would be at $250,000 a year. Do you know who makes that much money personally? Well, let me rephrase. Do you know of anyone who makes that much money? Again, we're talking about one trade a week. Mind you, these are 5-minute binary options where you have 276 opportunities in a day for 4 days a week. 12 opportunities in an hour. Now, I'm not saying that you're trading that much, not at all. What I'm saying is that there's always an opportunity available once you see and recognize stability in the market, and then a trade comes. Make sense? And if all you did was do that process once a week, first year, 6-figure income. Subsequent years, $250,000 a year. Who do you know personally making that much money? Something you can do from your laptop or your cell phone. Is this something to play with? That's nothing to play with right there. I'm just saying. Oh, I'm having a hard time. You're trading too much. You're in trade mode. You need to stop. And you need to train. Because this is too valuable of a skill And there's too much money waiting for you to keep messing this up. It's too much. Like this is too good. This is too great for you to mess it up. Listen to what I just said. Last week I talked about 2 trades a week. I just told you 1 trade a week. What happens? Come on, man. Jeff, now this is real. Look, watch this. Jeff said he got a few friends that make that kind of money, but they don't have what? They don't have time to spend it. They're always working. You got time. You got plenty of time. You got time here. Time is money. Do you like using NADEX on the smartphone or tablet? I don't, you know what? I don't even have a tablet. I have a laptop and I have smartphones. And my preference is the laptop because I'm usually on the laptop all day. But I do love the fact that if I don't have the laptop around, I pull the phone out. And I can do everything from the phone as well, including record. Let's not forget about that. Recording is how you grow. Recording is how you hold yourself accountable. And it creates documentation for what you're actually doing. Very important. Yep. So from the phone, they got apps on the phone that you can use to record your screen. Just turn the recorder on, and as you're observing, ultimately, once you end up in a trade or whatever, you have it documented. See, that way you'll have a record. You can go back and look and see why you won. You know why you won, because you recognize the right time. Yep. Yeah, but you know, both will suffice. Tablet is fine too if that's what you want to use. Any device. What I like also is that NADEX allows you to access your account through logging in from a browser. So it's not an app you have to download or anything like that. You just go into your Chrome browser or Safari or whatever browser that you're using and just go to the NADEX website and then log into your account. And then it'll give you access to everything that like you're seeing here on the screen. Even if you're on a phone or on a tablet, you can still see the charts. You can see the binary ladder like this over here. You can see all of this from the phone, from the tablet, from the laptop. Yep. It's powerful, man. This is crazy. What we have here is crazy. For real. I don't like it on my iPad. Just got a laptop. iPad does not show the candle HLOC. Okay, so it doesn't show the little box with the high, low, open, and close, which is this. You're saying it doesn't show this. Yeah, and I hear you. I hear you on that. Because I know that you do like to just have access to it, you know, whenever you want to see your candle information. Yep, so definitely understand that. Makes sense. Yep, but I mean, like it's insane to me that you can do this from these devices. You got internet. Like as long as you got an internet connection, it's crazy, man. Andrew said it might do it, but the setting for it is weird or something. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean, if you can't figure out the tablet stuff, I would say just stick to your phone or your laptop. You'll be good. Yep, you'll be good to go. But this was excellent. I like these questions. Did a couple of exams. We'll do another one. I'll do one last one. I will do one last exam. All right, this one right here. Will the market stay above this line? In other words, will the market currently stay inside of this box? Yes or no? Will the market stay in this box right here? Is this candle going to stay in that green box? Is the candle going to stay in the box? Seven seconds left. All yeses. The yeses have it. The yeses have it. Yeah, see, like you see what you're saying there. Reality, you said it's trending up. The fact that it remained in the box doesn't even have anything to do with the direction. It has more to do with the behavior of the movement. It's the actual movement itself. Because even if the market moved down, let me see where it opened up at. 5.6. Yeah, so was that 5.6? Even if the market moved down, let's say it went from 5.6 to 5.4. If the market moved down to 5.4 from where it was here, I can see just based on the existing candles, if the movement would have held at 5.4, I would know why it did. Even though it came down, and you still would have won the trade if you had been in one. So the reason for the question, when I say, is it going to stay above this or is it going to stay below this? You're getting more acclimated with understanding the behavior of the movement as it relates to what the market is doing right now. So because of the current movement, that's the reason why the market would be remaining. Even if it didn't move up at all, it could have just stayed there. If it was at 5.6 and just stayed there, that would have made sense. If it was at 5.6 and moved down some and still stayed above the line, that would have made sense. It just happened to go up, but we're not excited that it went up. We're excited that we know that we knew beforehand it would stay in the box. It could have done a number of different things and still stayed in the box. Does that make sense? And because it's binary, you win the trade because it stayed in the box. You didn't win the trade because it went up. Does that make sense? See, this is good stuff, man. This is good stuff. It's powerful, man. Powerful. Yep. Trends is the big goggles. Looks good till the slap back to sobriety. Yep. Yes, indeed. All right, come on. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. This one right here. Is this going to stay in the box? Yes or no? Hurry up. You respond. Is this going to stay in the box? Yes or no? Don't try to wait. I need answers immediately. Yes or no? Got one yes. Gary is saying no. Angel over there cheating. Angel, stop cheating. Talking about a coin flip. Get out of here. Carmen cheating too. All right. So who said no? I think Gary said no, right? Ro was bold enough. He said yes. Pudge said yes. Carrie, Maury said yes. And Maui Jeff said yes after the whole shit was closed already.
What you talking about, Willis?
Oh shit, y'all funny. Carmen says she tapped out. Angel says she applied the process. All right, I'll give it to y'all. I'll give it to y'all. But now, so Rose said yes. Gary said no. There's the no. That's what I was looking for. So Gary, you said no. Why did you say no? And this is now I like this. Now Ro was saying he said yes, but it was a toss up. Aha. And we're gonna talk about that in a second. Gary, I want to know why you said no. Yeah, it is out the box now, but it did stay in the box. It stayed in the box. Look at the close. 5-2. Stayed in the box. All right, let me ask this. Why did y'all think it stayed in the box? Yeah, the last candle of that binary did stay in the box. Angel, get out of here. Get out of here. Ah, look at this. Stuff is starting to click, reality. He said only because of position. Wow. Hold on. Hold on. You get a Don DeMarco for that. Dom DeMarco. Dom DeMarco. Wow. Wait. All right. What did I ask? What's the last question I asked? I said why. Oh, I said why do you think it stayed in the box? That was the question. And Carmen, you're right. And this is why when you said coin flip, I was okay with that. Yep. And Angel too. She said it. She said coin flip, I think, initially the first time. But again, why do you think it stayed in the box anyway? In spite of that. Because this right here eliminated us from ever being in that trade. Yes. That's the reason why you wouldn't enter. Yes, yeah, absolutely. But my question is not whether you would have entered or not. What's my question? My question is, why did it stay in the box? See, you now you'll see how I'm asking the market question. Why did it stay in the box? Why did it stay in the box? Why did it stay in the box? Yes, it is. Yes, it is the truth. This is the truth here. All right, Angel is on it. Go ahead, Angel. Go ahead, girl. The range. All right, so do you guys see what Angel said? She said the previous range. What she's saying is that there was an existing range. Jeff saying not enough info. I would give you that, but nah, you did have enough. You have enough to understand why it stayed in the box. Keith is saying the time and the behavior. Yeah, but what do you mean by that? And this is correct. This is correct. Aha. Very good, Ro. Now, do y'all see y'all see what's happening, right? I asked one question and look at how much is coming from the one question. I love this because I'm forcing you to think. Pudge said, was thinking because it was a slow market. That definitely had something to do with it. But why? Why does a slow market have something to do with why it stayed in the box? Look at that question. Answer that. Answer that. Answer what I just asked. Why does a slow market have something to do with why it stayed in the box? Explain that. And this is what Jeff is saying. Not enough information. In other words, we didn't have all the layers, and he's correct. And that's what Angel is saying also. You guys are right. But that's not what I'm asking. I'm going to get it out of y'all. I'm forcing y'all to think. I'm forcing y'all to think off of what you know enough. I mean, off of what you know already. This is interesting. Gary says not enough time to move out the box at that speed. So Gary is saying definitely because the market was slow, that definitely has something to do with it. Correct. But why? Angel is a trip. She funny. Very good. Slow doesn't always mean respecting the range. Correct. But it stayed in the box. Why? Stay in the box. Give me a reason why I would stay in the box. Come on, y'all. Nope. There was no, well, let me not say that. Let me go back, because I do want to point something out. Now, Gary just said there was a barrier. Now, technically, no, there was not a barrier. If you look at this, right? Take a look at this, Gary. What barrier? This candle came all the way down here and stopped. What barrier is there that would cause it to stop there and stay? There was nothing. There was no barrier. No barrier. But I want y'all to look at the activity of the candles. And this should help you to understand why I'm asking the question over and over again. What would cause this candle to stop there and to stay inside of this box? What would cause this to stay in the box right there? You got a big candle here, quote unquote, and this really just is a bigger candle than these are. But why would this stay here? Come on, just look. There we go. And when you say range, what do you mean by that? And there's the key word. Stability. Stability. What had stability? The movement had stability. The movement. So you had stable movement and a range. Look at the candles for a second. Let's just look at all of this candle activity up to this one. You see this one? And we're actually gonna look at the size of the candles. So you got this one here, 7 micro pips, right? 56.49. So that's 7. This one here is also 7. Highs and lowest, 56.49. Yeah, so they're the same size. So those two are 7. This one is 2. This one is 3. 6. This one is shit. I don't even know. It's just no movement. This one is 5. No movement. This one is 5. This one is 6. Then you had a bigger one here, and then you had this one, which was 3. So this candle was 3 micro pips in size. And it was actually one of the smaller ones, because you had this, and these two. So about 4 were around the 6-7 micro pip size in range. But other than that, you had this, and then ultimately this one were all less than 4 micro pips. So in addition to having the movement itself stable, you also had the existence of range. So that's the only reason why you had a larger candle here, but then this one stayed inside the box, because this candle was basically doing exactly what these candles were already doing. You had smaller candles throughout this entire area while you had stable movement. You see? And even though there was no actual barrier with a cluster, the market is also seeing that this activity here, all of this right here was right on the strike, back and forth across. So there's a level of some type of barrier here. Not the barrier we want, because we want the candles to cluster together and to all be inside of the box. And you didn't have that here. But as far as understanding the movement, you can see why this stayed in the box. And it's not about us trying to predict if it's going to stay in the box or not. But when you look at this, and I ask you to make a decision, all right, is it going to stay in the box or no? And you have to make a decision. When you make your decision, why are you making the decision? You see what I'm saying? That's the question that I'm really asking you. Why are you saying yes or no? So now when the outcome takes place, you understand why. And it has nothing to do with the fact that you said yes or no. Because what you guys were saying about it being a coin flip, we know that that was the case anyway. But that's not the question I was asking, because it's not a trade question. Does that make sense? Like, you'll understand, I'm asking your market questions. And that's why this is powerful, because it elevates your understanding of what? The market. It elevates your understanding of the movement, the candles, range, why the candles are staying inside of an area, the box. Why the candles are staying the same size for the most part. Then you'll have a large candle move, which will simply be a reposition. It'll just be a position change. But then the market continues to range. It's been doing it all night. You see? So you're just getting clarity on what the market is doing. And you're keeping yourself in alignment with the environment and with the behavior. So now you know, if a trade does come, that you're justified for being in the trade because the time is right. Everybody understand that, right? Antonio, what's up, man? Antonio, I think that Antonio, when did you come into training? Yesterday? I think it was yesterday. And he confessed. He fessed up. He said it in the group chat. And Tony, how many times did you watch 301? How many times did you watch 301? Maury, yeah, you're right. She had lack of speed. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that larger candle was just a change of position. Wouldn't unstable movement in a range still stay up there? I mean, it's a coin flip, like you said. There's a possibility, yes. But because the market had stable movement, there's something else that the market will show you when it's not moving that gives you indication that it's stable. What is it? This is another good question. There is a nuance on the platform. When the market is stable, something shows you that the market is stable, even when the indicative is not moving. What is it? Bingo. Bingo. And did y'all see the pricing? I bet you most of you didn't look. I did. I was watching. And when I saw the pricing, that's when I knew. I said, "Yep, it's gonna stay in the box." See, because remember that stability transcends time also. Option pricing is a mechanism of time. He was driving. Oh, snap. Change of position means when you have a larger candle and a smaller candle dominant range, or a smaller candle dominant environment. So in other words, the majority of the candles are small, then you see a bigger one. That bigger candle is just repositioning the market activity. Let me give you an example. No, this is not the best one to use. Let me use this one. All right. There we go. Let me zoom into this. Let me show you. You see how this is a larger candle? This one is a larger candle. The activity before the larger candles are smaller candles. So, for example, this was a smaller candle, larger candle. And where this candle moved to, if you look at the bottom of the candle, it moved the market into this lower box. So now when you look at all of the activity, you see how all the activity now is inside this box now, going across. So you're looking at horizontal activity now. This was the position change. It moved the market from up here in this box. Market was up here in this box. This candle repositioned it. So you have a new position change. And then look at how the behavior goes right back into the range after. You see that? And it's staying in the box. So you have the range come back, which is the smaller candles, and it's staying inside of the box again, which is where it came from. It came from being in the box back here. And even if you go further back, you saw other instances of it. Box there. This was a position change. You had your activity there briefly, another position change. Then finally, this position change takes it up into this box. And then now you're up here in this box for a period of time. So you see how the market is repositioning itself through the larger candles, but it's not speeding up. So in other words, it's not just moving into a faster environment. What it's doing is these bigger candles are just moving the market to a different position, meaning a new box. Just like this. Look, big candle. Then it comes to a new box. Look at what it's doing again. Ranging again. That's position change. And you need to know that you're in a slow environment. That way you can make sense out of these candles. When you see these big candles, you know that they're not just big candles that are turning into volatility or into momentum or into a faster market. They just simply represent the market repositioning to a new position. See? So, Pudge, that makes sense? That should have answered the question. That was a hell of an explanation, I must say. All right, so we've been on here. Damn, I didn't realize we've been on here this long. 2 hours and 16 minutes. Shit. Past my bedtime, man. Past my bedtime. All right, y'all. So listen, this was excellent. This was very good. So I actually use Angel's idea with the exams. I think I'll do that more often. I like that because it does create more interaction from y'all, and I get a chance to see where y'all at for sure. All right. Did anybody have any questions before we get off? Going once, going twice. All right. All right. So y'all know what it is. Mark Fuller, TeamAlliance, volume 47, live market observation. No questions, right? Let me check one more time. All right. That'll do it. All right. So I'll see you on the next observation. Coffee and charts possibly tomorrow. Podcast I'm gonna try to bring back this week, but I'll see. All right. All right. Y'all know what it is. Love, peace, and soul. Deuces. Dom de Monco. Dom de Monco.